Hi, welcome to Dewdrops. My name is Beth. Oh my gosh, this is a jam-packed video today. Today is going to be so much fun. What we're doing here is we have two different sizes of the small earring open back bezels. And I'm using the largest size within those and then the medium size. And I'm cutting two of each right now. If I need more, I can cut more later, but I don't think I'm going to need more than that. Now what we're going to do is adjust our wire. Each one of these wires that are making seagrass are going to be larger than the next. This is the shortest one, then you cut less off until you finally get to your fourth one where you don't cut any off. And it's better to cut off less because you can readjust, but you can't add back on. After we finish putting the fourth one on, we're going to secure the whole thing in with resin. And it's really important that you do that because you want your seagrass to stay exactly where you put it. And when you add the top part to it, if you don't have them secured in, they will move all over the place and make you crazy. So I'm using some Let's resin, the low viscosity clear type. And I love this stuff because it is the least bubbly of all resins that I have ever tried. All the other resins end up having a ton of bubbles. You're going to cure that for 30 to 40 seconds just to make it so it stays. And now you're going to take the smaller of the open bezels that you cut up and you're going to put them the opposite direction. And you're going to see what I'm doing here. And then after we get those in, we'll secure those too. Now that we've cured those into place, we're going to make our little fishies. It's very simple. It's the same process as when you are making the drops to put in your piece or to making them when you're cutting them up. And all you're doing is you're making that X so that the wires will cross and give you that space for the tail. They're very little and they can be very, very hard to handle. A lot of times I end up using my tweezers. You can see how little they are. Now I'm making the bail. I'm using my flat 3mm wire. And I just rotate it around on the bail maker about 2.5 to 3 times. I don't want it more than 1 or 2 rounds. Now we're just going to add some more resin to get that bottom layer done. And then we're going to stick it into the curing machine and work on our little fish. I'm just using some resin tape and we are using the high viscosity resin. And we're just putting little tiny drips in there just to get the resin in it to begin with. We will be doming. But right now we're just going to put a little bit of resin, cure it for just a few seconds just to get it so it's harder, and then continue adding resin. And you're going to see here how I'm just adding resin willy-nilly kind of just to spread it out. You can adjust your texture of your tail with using some wire cutters. It's amazing how easy it works, and you can just snip it and make it rough. And I am making a paint out of the Let's Resin Chrome powders. I'm going to put a little bit of resin on my pad and add some chrome powder to it and paint my fish. I'm doing the red chrome powder and the purple chrome powder. I think they're so pretty. See, and I'm just going to throw some paint on them and then cure it. And then you'll be amazed at how I make the decorations on the fish. And believe it or not, yes, I use nail polish, UV nail polish. It works great. It's the same technique as using resin, UV resin. So I just dip my brush and I make the designs that I want on there. And you got to remember, they're very little. So you got to be very careful that you don't inundate it with too much black. Now comes the fun part. We're going to put our gilding adhesive on here. I love this gel medium. It is amazing because you can build it up. We're going to use my favorite, my Let's Resin Chameleon Flakes. You know how much I love those. And we are starting in the order that I have them, with brown, yellow. And you're going to notice that as I put them down, I am using an extremely light hand because I want our colors to work right. I want them to blend properly. So I am making sure I put them on very lightly. And it's going to look like a lot, but I am using such a tiny amount of each color right now so that I get the look that I want, that it's really not full. Now I'm going to be using a lot more of the violet blue because I'm also using it to fill in any empty spaces that I missed. And blues are the basic foundation of this color because it is a water scene. And you will see how I tamped it down and then I burnish it in. We're going to put a coat of resin over it, and you're going to want to cure that for approximately 1 to 2 minutes. Make sure it's completely cured, and now we're going to add just a really thin coat of resin. Cure it for 10 to 15 seconds only. And we are going to add our chameleon powder to it in teal. I love this color. It is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous, and it's a perfect color for a water scene. We're just going to put that on the back, burnish it in, and cover it with more resin. After we cover this completely with resin, we cure it, and then we're going to add our fish. You're going to want to flip your piece over so that the right side is facing up. And then we're going to add our little fishies. I think they turned out so cute. Can't wait for you to see them in the piece itself. So we're just going to add some resin to the bottom of the fish, and that'll help it stay in place where you want it. I noticed that I ended up flipping one the wrong way, but that's okay. It still looked really cute. And you just adjust it to the length or the space that you want it and how far apart. And then I have some flat back pearls and some silver beads that you can throw in there to add like a little bubble effect if you like. Actually, I did one that I just literally added bubbles to. Now I'm going to cure that. And one thing that you're going to see here, it takes a lot of layers to build this piece up. And it's really important that you do it. You need that effect so that it gives it a watery appearance when you're looking at it. Once you start building it up, each layer needs to be cured 2 to 3 minutes. And I'm telling you, I did in total about 6 layers of resin, including the high viscosity. You just keep building it till you get it domed and it gives the look that you like. I think this is probably the most tedious part of doing the whole thing because you have to do many layers. But I'm telling you, it is so worth it. we're not done yet. We got to add our bail to the back. We're going to cut that down and make the shank the size that we need it to hold it onto this. I like to make my shanks pretty short. I don't like it to be able to take over the back. So, as you know, I do things backwards. I make sure my fish are going in the right direction because I have put them upside down. I am putting resin on my bail and putting my piece on top of that. And then I'm going to cure it in place. This way I know it's exactly where I want it. It used to be so frustrating when I do it the other way and have to take it off and start all over again. So we're going to cure that on, and then we're going to flip it over. And we are going to use high viscosity. We're not using low viscosity. We're using high viscosity resin for this. And the reason for that is we want a good thick layer on the back of this to make it as smooth as possible. We're going to add one more layer of that. And that will encase the bail on the back to make sure it won't come off. It'll secure it real well. And also the high viscosity, it looks very shiny. Now we're going to put some high viscosity on the front. And we're going to do a couple more layers of that. This piece is so gorgeous. I love the way the colors came out on it. Now you got to remember to make sure you get every edge because those edges can make or break your piece. You cure that all in, and then we have this. Look how gorgeous it is. It was so much fun to make. I'm so happy you decided to join me. Please like and subscribe. I will see you soon.